Or if they really get down, when he really get down, he say, you people who've been given $1 all your life, can you at least give 2 this week? I used to cringe when he talked like that, when he talked about, Lord. But I understood. Now I understand. I didn't understand then. I ain't going to tell you no story. I did not understand then. And me and him talked about it, so, you know, I didn't understand. But he was telling me, you know, Pastor Fowler is one of those people that you go along and you learn. He wants you to learn by watching and observing. So he don't always tell you all the details. But the one thing he did tell me, he said, Reverend, he says, we will never be able to get our people out of this mindset of poverty if we allow them to continue to give $1. He said, it's part of our responsibility as a pastor to encourage them, to stretch them, to give more than $1. To give more than that standard 20 that they've been given. Oh, yeah. They're holding on too tight. And then they don't know why it's not increasing, because you ain't letting it go. So is this going to be all right if we continue this next week?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What is it that God's requiring of us? Huh? And what have you been giving him? You been hitting and missing? Doing it when you feel like doing it? Ministering when you feel like ministering? How would it look? I'm done after this. How would it look? I really am. If Quan was sitting back there, he'd be cracking up right now. How would it look if a couple of Sundays out of the month, I just decide not to show up?
Right.
Huh? Oh, I just hit and miss. I mean, I don't feel like it today. Maybe I'm here for a month and then I just say, I don't feel like it. Come on, honey, let's go on vacation. They'll figure it out. Wow. How would God feel about that? He called me to do something, right? He called me to pastor, didn't he? When I accepted, just like when the church accepted to take this building, when I accepted without him giving me all the details, I knew deep down in my spirit that I had to commit my works unto him. And that my showing up here had nothing to do with who was going to be here and who wasn't. It had nothing to do with who was going to like me or who didn't like me. It had nothing to do with what controversies might pop up and what I might have to do. It had nothing to do with that. It had to do with honoring him. Do I love him enough that I will honor him when the times get tough, when it gets rough, when people don't like you, when people don't want to hear the message?
Oh, yes.
Why do I know this is true? I mentioned in the prayer circle that we're at an all-time high with pastors committing suicide. And me and the wife was listening to one pastor who, a week before he committed suicide, he gave a message. And he had already been on a 7-month sabbatical because he was battling with depression. And he said he hit a brick wall. Is that what he said? He hit a wall, had no more energy. As a matter of fact, before he was getting ready to preach one Sunday, had an anxiety attack and went in the bathroom and was like paralyzed with anxiety, could not move. And they came in to get him. He was able to get up and go ahead and preach. But he never took vacations. He never took time out. He never talked to anybody else about it. And he preached the message. Basically sounding like he got past it. That he got past this battle he was having. But he started a series. And he didn't get to the second part of the series. Because that week, he committed suicide. Why do I say that? I say it because there is a lot going on. A lot. And unfortunately, pastors take on more than they're supposed to take on. God didn't call me to be a business manager. He didn't call me to worry about finances of the church. That ain't the ministry he gave me. It just ain't. He didn't call me to try to make sure everybody's happy. He didn't call me to do that. He said, do what I ask you to do, say what I ask you to say, and I'll take care of the rest. There was another pastor that was a little older that committed suicide. And his son said that his father began to read these books about how to grow the church. He became just obsessed with growing the church, comparing himself to other pastors, not thinking he was good enough, to where he even told his son, I don't think God's happy with me. And shortly after he started making those statements, he took his life. All I'm saying is we don't and won't get exhausted. And we won't hit a brick wall if we're doing it his way. When we step outside of him, start trying to do it our way, a lot's going to come our way. But in addition to that, it just rose up in me the importance of praying for one another. Praying for one another. I mean, yeah, there's some other stuff that fits into that, but I'm not going to go there. But nevertheless, we have been called to carry out a worship unto God the way He has prescribed, the way He has said to do it. And whenever we find ourselves getting to that place where we don't think it's meaningful anymore, we don't think it's worth doing anymore, we done done it, we don't got to do it no more, we're falling into the same spot in Malachi. God requires us to continue the task and the ministry that He's laid upon us until He says it's done. Until He says it's done. Amen? There may be somebody.
I'm coming back to
join us, remember with us,
worship.
want to be baptized.
It's all about you.
If you're out there,
Yes, it's all
tap
about
somebody on the
you,
shoulder.
Jesus.
A couple of weeks ago, Kathy was looking for membership. Somebody fill out a membership sheet.
Cause
You
it's
were looking
all
for those sheets a
about
couple of weeks ago. Or somebody take some home.
Yes, it's all about
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
coming
Okay.
back.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
coming back.
And as a matter of fact, there happens to be water in the pool.
This is all
You
about
want to get baptized? You can get baptized even today.
you. Yeah.
So we're going to do communion. We're going to take communion. But think about that song as you're taking communion. That it's all about, you know, my being here is all about Him. Your being here is all about Him. Whatever ministry you've been called to, you've been called to be an evangelist, it's about Him. You've been called to be a pastor, it's about Him. You've been called to be a prophet or prophet, it's all about Him. You've been called to be a worship leader, guess what? It's all about Him.
You search much
And when we realize it's all about Him, we won't get exhausted and tired.
the way
in what
things
we're doing.
appear. You look